Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel, to my loyal viewers and subscribers. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because it saves lives. We do believe that law-abiding citizens must not live in fear of losing their lives, but it's supposed to be the old dirty boy them. Yes, they are the problems. You are going to hear how Jim Brown saved Paperman's life because Curlylocks wanted to dirt him because he dissed him, Curlylocks. You are going to hear that Curlylocks and Pushwood killed, yes, Curlylocks and Pushwood dirted 8 men from jungle. Yes, Curlylocks and Pushwood dirted 8 junglists at the Rema apartment complex when Minister of Housing Anthony Spalding went there with a mob consisted of gunmen, police officers and soldiers, went to Rema to evict the tenants for non-payment of rent. The operation was a politically motivated event because for over 8 years the men from Jonestown and Concrete Jungle, Kingston 12, have been attacking the community of Rima relentlessly with explosive materials, gunfights, trying to get the residents of Rima to leave, and they stood their grounds. Although the junglists have better guns than them, still the Rima men had a heart because they were fighting to keep their homes. When you hear that PJ Patterson was in the company of Donovan Bulby Bennett, Jamaica Most Wanted Man, is a thing that the PNP party has been practicing for many decades before. During the operation led by Minister of Housing Anthony Spalding, in the presence of the military and the police, there were men from jungle with illegal weapons during the assault and subsequent deaths of the 8 men from jungle at the hands of Curlylocks and Bigwood. Yes, Pushwood, not Bigwood, Pushwood. But I tell them people not easy. One of the junglists emerged from one of the buildings with a gun in his hand, and when he was told to drop the gun by the soldiers, he did not comply, and he was dirted too. In total, 9 junglists lost their lives in Rema that day during the field eviction by the PNP minister and his henchmen from jungle. You are going to hear how Curlylocks met his demise at the hands of a Tivoli Garden enforcer named Paperman, who ambushed and killed him while he was riding his motorcycle in the community. You are going to hear how 2 weeks later, yes, Detective Piggy dirted Paperman for dirting Curlylocks. Yes, Piggy was Curlylocks' friend. Remember that earlier Piggy said that Curlylocks saved his life 3 times, and he cried when Paperman lost one of his eyes. Yes, Piggy cried when Curlylocks lost his life. Remember that Curlylocks had beaten Paperman, and that's how Paperman lost one of his eyes at the hands of Curlylocks. You are going to hear how former SSP Calvin Benjamin traded bullets with the feared and brazen madman Curlylocks, who has no respect for the laws of Jamaica. On March 27th, boy, that's my birthday and Piggy birthday, 1981, 5 men were killed in a Jamaican gang war between men from Tivoli Gardens and Rema. A week of gang war in Kingston ghetto has killed 5 people. Closed businesses and turned neighborhoods into armed camps, police said Friday. Not last week Friday, that was 1981. Residents of West Kingston, Rima and Tivoli Gardens set up armed patrols and block off streets to keep out armed gangs. And police said they were afraid to enter the areas. Why? That means that these men have some heavy artillery, that's the police them who say, oh, we not going there, they're afraid for going. But I never know that police used to be afraid then. Well, because the men them have bigger guns than the police. The gang were begun a week ago when Tivoli resident Howard Curlylocks Hewitt, out on bail and several shooting charges, was accused of killing shopkeeper Beatrice Taylor and Rima. So this man, back in them days, him get bail. Because, fire gun on them thing, them turning us, street gun coat. Him get bail. Wow. Well, apparently it was his government in a power then, 81. So, that's supposed to speak volume why the man get bail, Hewitt was asked to come into Rema to explain himself, but he refused and was gunned down last Friday. Yes, so, the man, he had killed, dirtied Beatrice Taylor and Rima. Yeah, so his friend, Godfrey Roden, was killed later in the day. And 2 others have died this week in what police said was a part of the gang warfare. Business managers in 2 communities have closed their stores fearing they will be shot or robbed. We at the Jamaica Young Police Channel is not intended to lionize or glorify the acts of criminals, but to put a historical perspective on criminality in Jamaica, hoping to shed light on why the country is now teetering on the edge of lawlessness. Of important note as well is that the subject of these stories died violently and very young. For the residents of the borderline community of Wilton Gardens, popularly called Rema, life during the PNP, the People's National Party reign of the 1970s, was treacherous. So, boy, these people were terrorized by the junglers, The community was the first line of defense against marauding political enforcers from neighborhood era of Arnett Gardens and Jonestown, Kingston 12, with intent on rooting out staunch Jamaica Labour Party supporters who stood out like a sore thumb in the PNP-dominated South Central St. Andrew constituency. Political clashes involving combatants bearing guns, machetes, knives, stones and other implements of war were commonplace. So too were firebombing incidents of homes on or near the troubled 7th Street borderline. But despite numerous firebombing and other attempts to dislocate them, the residents of Rema managed to survive the repeated onslaught and retain their political identity throughout the PNP 8-year rule. So what the PNP was trying, they were trying to convert the people of Rema to PNP. But the people from Rema said they're not having it and them stood them ground. 8 years, they survived the onslaught. Man, imagine, so for 8 years, and I've been telling people, that I know that the people of Rema did not do us anything, because my mother had said the Rema people did not do anything. We are the one who troubled them because we want to get them out because of votes. What a wicked set of people. Or if you do that to your own black people. You understand? That's wrong, man. And that's why we are trying to educate the people, to sensitize them to understand what is happening, because we don't want to continue the cycle of this killing and killing and killing and killing of black people by black people. They're doing it in a different way. It's not politics, but they're just doing the same thing because it's a tradition. We need to get rid of it. It cannot be a part of our culture where we're killing each other. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to save lives. You understand? Howard Hewitt, popularly known as Curlylocks, was one young man who evolved into one of the most dreaded fugitive and political defenders to prowl the tough communities of St. Andrew South and West Kingston during the 1970s and 80s. For almost a decade, his name drove fear into the hearts of cops, enemies, and even those who live in the community. Rima, he protected and ruled with an iron fist. Curlylocks did not rush head on into a life of crime, as he was once an ardent churchgoer who walked the straight and narrow line. He was not born in Rema, but relocated there with his mother and grandmother following the bulldozing of Newtown, which is now a swath of land close to old remand centre known as No Man's Land, which lies between Denhamtown, Craigtown and Jonestown. Hewitt was identified as a child with potential for art and was reportedly encouraged by his teacher at Jonestown Primary School to pursue an art career. Yeah, Jonestown Primary is at the corner of Love Street and Price Street, and used to have a bar right at the corner across from the road from the school. But I mean, I tell you, school and then bar. But I don't say it goes still, you know. Curlylocks was a Christian, but from Pushwood, yeah man, Pushwood, Seaman started tutor him in broke out. He started by teaching Locks to ride a bike. Then as time passed by, the Indians started to admire the life and take up badness. One resident of Rima said in months following a peace treaty brokered between political warring factions in the capital, armed political enforcers on both sides turned their attention and energies to staging daring bank and payroll robberies in various city sections. During the years leading up to the 1980 elections, arsenals of guns and ammunition flow into the island through the island porous coastline and the unseen eyes of corrupt and fearful custom officials. Their favorite mode of transport were under 354 and under 50 motorcycles. Under 50 motorcycle is popularly known as Big Head. I don't know how them call the bike Big Head and how it come by its name, but that's all I know it as. Powerful handguns, revolver, machine guns and M16 rifles were also a part of bank robbers' survival kit. Lured by the glamour and ill-gotten gains of bank robbers in the era, Hewitt put down his Bible and joined their ranks. Then he was given the moniker Curlylocks, which had nothing to do with being a Rastafarian, but because of his straight Indian ear. The gangster quickly learned that dishing out death and cruel punishment with impunity was the formula for gaining notoriety in the criminal underworld. One of his first brushes with brutality of life in a political garrison came during the attempt by the government to evict residents of Rema for non-payment of rent. On February 2nd, 1977, government bailiffs, police officer and an angry man of junglers converged on 7th Street borderline and attempted to chase out the Rema residents under the watchful eye of Member of Parliament Anthony Spalding. Spalding Ministry of Housing had a year earlier approved the eviction of tenants for non-payment of rent. So you know when I get to people that like pay bill, them live free, them pay water and light bill. So it starts from in the 70s. So these people are really pay them bill. So Anthony Spalding get a eviction notice and the warrant and then for evict them. Despite efforts by some cops on the scene to disperse the invaders that I mean them from jungle, the mob, which includes several gunmen, stormed the community. So you see the man from jungle, them no respect police or soldier. The police, they were trying to get these men to leave the area, and the men them storm the people them apartment complex and I tried. Same thing like what they did in Payne Avenue at Tavares Garden. But these people are different people. These are not squab people. The besieged Rema residents were outnumbered, and according to a man who claimed to be a resident at the time, one of him tell Piggy, he said Pushwood and Curlylocks both use cunning to fend off the attackers. Pushwood and Curlylocks dress up in red and black and join up with the junglists them. So apparently the junglists them not even recognize them, because everybody who were there, all of the gunmen them from Jungle and Jonestown, apparently never know Curlylocks or Pushwood. So when they go inner the building, them start stab man and push them in corners inside the building. The man said 8 people were reportedly killed by the Rema defenders, resulting in the abortion of the eviction attempt. Wow. Resulting in the abortion of the eviction attempt by JDF soldiers who trained their weapons on the armed invaders who came hurried out of the building with their hands above their heads. One man was killed after he failed to stop and hand over his illegal weapon to the soldier. Dressed in a bush jacket and a knitted cap, a defeated Sparling left the scene. Commenting on the botch eviction attempt, retired Justice Ronald Small, that a youth Small father, described the incident as horrible stain on this nation history. The amount of thing what these people have done. With the death of Pushwood, his second in command, Curlylocks, grabbed the leadership reign of the Rema 13 gang. Among the fearsome gang ranks were men known as Bigness, were Pearl Harbor, Little Jack, Steeler, Mutt, Peasy, 39, Riley, and Bubba Charles. The gang also known to stage multiple robberies, and each member was sometimes armed with 2 guns or more. Police said many persons inside Rema and outside the garrison community met their deaths at the hands of the Rema 13. But Curlylocks' lust for blood earned him the respect of his counterparts, Claudius Massop, and his successor, Lester Lydecoke, better known as Jim Brown from Tivoli Gardens. There are many stories about his cruelty. For example, Curlylocks, in a jealous rage, was reported to have shot and injured one of his women before impregnating her sister months after. So the man, him there with the sister, so him shot the sister with him there with, or in a relation with. But I am just talking for some of the people to understand. So him is bona fide girlfriend, him get she, him shot she, and then after that him get the other sister pregnant. Boy, what a man. When the woman was 8 months pregnant, Curlylocks ended her life because she and Curlylocks have some disagreement, and he had his gun, you know. And he was there with Bigness or something like that. And you know, get a woman, them steer and them obnoxious and brawling. And she tell him, say, oh boy, you can't shoot me, because, you know, she pregnant female, and you know, she pregnant for him. She's, you know, carrying his child. And she thought that because she was pregnant and carrying his child, that although she had this him, that just knows the boy is a woman thing. But the man shot her in her forehead and kill her 1 shot with a 357 Magnum. You understand? But I mean, I tell you, you know, he was also known, according to Piggy, to take on police patrol single-handed. So senior superintendent of police Calvin Benjamin, you know, Piggy had mentioned him earlier, the first time, you know, he was telling us about Curlylocks. Yeah, so he says that Benjamin was one cop who came face to face with the dreaded Curlylocks. You understand? You know, so Piggy, I tell you that, say, you know, if I give credit to boy, yeah, Benji meet up with Curlylocks in a shootout already. Resident of the Year says Curlylocks surprised Benjamin, a young policeman at the time, and a colleague as they walk along 4th Street in the community. Benjamin confirmed that the gunman was brazen in his attack. He opened fire at us, and it was a miracle that no one was injured. He was really bold, Benjamin told the Sunday Observer. Curlylocks was sentenced for armed robbery, and after his release managed to travel to North America. So him did go to prison and Europe. So him go prison for armed robbery with gun. So after him come from prison, He was released. He went to North America and Europe, where he reportedly shoved a man off a building before hightailing back to Jamaica, where he continued his life of crime. So the man all even like all a foreign and still kill people. He's a man possessed man. But like many before him, Curlylocks live by and die by the gun. His demise came at the hands of a young enforcer from Tivoli, with whom he had a dispute inside the garrison community. The enforcer, known as Paperman, had refused Curlylocks entry to a yard where Jim Brown was handing the weekly issuing of checks for casual workers to persons in Tivoli Gardens, Rosestown and Rema. Boy, so Jim Brown was a big manager, payroll man. Paperman, not knowing that he was dealing with the Rema with Dan, reportedly called Curlylocks an insipid coolie boy and threatened to thump him in his mouth before chasing him away from the entrance to the premises. So yes, so Jim Brown, there are premises in a Tivoli Garden. I pay the people them for them work, what them do, as him get the contract, him are the boss. So politics come with election come with benefits. Enter your party in a power. So Jim Brown being him at the Dan down at Tivoli. So him now control all of the business them with the government, and people are get paid and him are giving them check. So him now want a disturbance. So Curlylocks come on, him not even tell the man who he was and him thing, and them in an argument, and the man tell him say him is an insipid coolie boy, and him will thump him in his mouth. And yeah. So Curlylocks, Paperman, not knowing that he was dealing with the Rima Dan, reportedly called Curlylocks an insipid coolie boy and threatened to thump him in his mouth before chasing him away from the entrance to the premises. Curlylocks left the scene and returned with a .357 Magnum revolver, and after a brief scuffle, reportedly pistol with Paperman dislodging his right eye. Paperman's life was spared after Jim Brown and other top Tivoli Gardens enforcer rushed in and defused the situation, all the time explaining to Paperman that the coolie boy was in fact the notorious Curlylocks. Oh, Paperman have a business about that because he want to lick out him eye and now him have one eye. Weeks later, yeah man, Curlylocks was ambushed and shot as he rode into the community and is on the motorbike in West Kingston. The triggerman was one eye Paperman, who would 2 weeks later, yeah man, cut down by a hail of bullets from the great Valentine Willie Williams. Yeah man, Piggy dirt him man, Piggy mash him up, mash up Paperman after that, because say Piggy and Curlylocks are friend, not because Piggy is a PMP supporter and Curlylocks a labourer, but both of them were friends. So so boy, in time Paperman dirted Curlylocks, Piggy cry. So boy, him take it personal. So he make certain, so boy, Paperman pay for his crime, So I saw him lit down Paperman, because Paperman kill him friend. So that's how it is, the life of gangsters. Curlylocks, that's how him, is I ambush him, I have to ambush him still. Because the man left them gun, because even the police them back then said Curlylocks used to walk past them and town police station with him rifle and all them thing there. Because through the police them will have 38 and Matic and 303 rifles. But I don't know. But I never did know that's how terribly it was down there in that part of West Kingston. Down by Denon Town, for the police them down there. I never know boy the man just walk past the station with a gun like that. And based on, all of the evidence gathered, policing was dangerous in the 70s, I remember then police used to dead like every week, Yes man, every week you used to hear police the killer police, because they didn't have any bulletproof vests and the police were outgunned. And Michael Malley makes certain of that. The police didn't have the weapon to combat the criminals them. But we happy to know that, Piggy and all those people, Calvin Benjamin, they are still alive. And all those parasites that were giving problem, they are no longer here. So we don't care. I want to lionize no criminal. But as people ask them want to know, how Curlylocks lose him life. Now a paper man does him out, ambush him and does him out, and Piggy 2 weeks after that, so Piggy hunt him down and Piggy dirt him. So I just saw Piggy work. Some people from Rema say, boy, Piggy is the only man, only police or only person could have ride him bike through Rima. And no man would even try to fire a shot off him, because one time them say a man a try to kill Piggy and a tree a Piggy him say. So the man them afraid to fire a shot off a Piggy, for shoot off him in a Rima, because them say, boy, Piggy deal. So I just saw it go, I hope you enjoy listening to our delivery telling you about Curlylocks and Piggy and Paperman and Pushwood and Bigness and Peasy and 39. Yeah, the Rima 13. So, yeah, man, thanks for checking in the Jamaica Young Police channel. Have yourself a beautiful day, man. Jamaica Young Police channel out.